I would like to ask Peter, because we are talking about democratizing gaming tech, but we also must mention about game design. So Angry Birds revolutionized mobile gaming and made it accessible to millions of non-gamers. Can you walk us through your design philosophy and what key principles did you focus on to ensure that Angry Birds would appeal to a broad global audience like today? Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that what was very important with Angry Birds was that it actually created this like Angry Birds moment in gaming, and example of that is actually like very early days of Angry Birds. Niklas went home for Christmas 2009. And then, as I mentioned there in the video, I mean, Angry Birds wasn't the first or second or even third, it was the 52nd game that Rovio made. And then, Niklas goes home for Christmas and then, takes his phone, shows to his mom that, hey, this is, our latest game, like he had done with the 51 other games. And then, mom looks at phone and okay, yeah, very nice, and gets the phone back. But with Angry Birds, Niklas didn't get his phone back all Christmas because his mom was playing Angry Birds. And of course now, that's like perfectly normal, like okay, no big deal, of course, like everybody plays games. But in 2009, this was unheard of. What? Niklas' mom playing games? Because it used to be that games were for gamers, people on Xbox, PlayStation, whatnot. That's, like real games and everything. But then what happened with Angry Birds was that everybody started playing games. And I think like almost every day somebody comes up to me that, like, I never play games, I play Angry Birds. Or my wife never played games, played Angry Birds. So that was like really massive. And now what we all take it for granted, we all here, we play games, but we are not gamers. Because it's like normal. That's like everybody with a phone, of course you play games. And I think that this was really important in expanding the market and making it like normal and acceptable to play games. I think this is something that is really, that's democracy. It's for everybody. And then if you look at the design, I think that has everything to do with it. So, Angry Birds was one of the very first games that was really, really designed for touch and for touch devices. If you look at many of the games, like early days of, like iPhone and touch devices, they were games that you took from like Xbox or, PC or something, meaning that they are typically like you had to go through all kinds of like crazy settings before you even got into the game. Or then you had like a virtual joystick and you tried to make a game that was great on Xbox or PC or like another platform, tried to make it work on the new touch devices. And most of the time, not amazing. I mean, yes, you could play the games, but not really. But then when you look at like Angry Birds, even, everybody with kids knows that even 2-year-olds can play Angry Birds. Just click during the game. No settings, no nothing, just, press play and you're in the game. And I think this is, of course, we take it for granted now. I mean, that's like what you need on mobile devices that, you have a few minutes of downtime, you're not gonna, prepare, like, okay, like with Xbox or a PC game, like, what is that? Now I'm gonna play for hours and hours. Just like, okay, 2 minutes, I have time for one level, done. So it's very important that you get into the experience. And then another thing that was very important in design, if you look at Angry Birds, and now we take it for granted, but we had a philosophy that eliminate all text, make it graphical. And we also had a rule in the company that all the slides had to be without text. You had to be able to communicate your idea visually. And if you look at the original Angry Birds, that's why 2-year-olds or anybody could play it, because you don't need to read tons of like instructions or anything. You just like graphically see what you need to do. And now we take it for granted, but before Angry Birds that was not like normal. You know, you had a lot of like, you know, hoops that you had to go through so that you could get into experience. And then I think also, I mean, if you look at the slingshot, that was actually a late addition to the game because it wasn't instantly obvious for people how to play the game. But once we added the slingshot, it became obvious. So, you know, then a lot of these kind of things that we really put a lot of effort into making it super approachable. And because we did that, then, you know, we eliminated text, we eliminated language. So we didn't need to go through, you know, translate it to all the languages on the planet or anything like that. It just worked. And I think that, yeah, that really fits under this democratizing gaming, you know, tagline, because that's kind of like what we did. And you know, not always kind of like totally intentionally, but it happened. And then another thing that also happened because of all this, that we got a lot of feedback from parents that, hey, you know, my kid has, you know, these disabilities. This is the first game that my child can play with the other kids, because it didn't require lightning fast reflexes or anything like that. And I mean, also got feedback from you know, children that this is, you know, like my mom is already old and she's like doesn't really, she's not able to interact with like the world anymore, but she plays Angry Birds and it makes her happy. You know, so I think that a lot of these things kind of just happen, but I think that when you do great product design, a lot of these things like just happen. You don't always plan for them, but you just make a product that just works, and then it works for, you know, billions of people. And I think that that's kind of like what happened with Angry Birds, that we really put so much effort into like thinking the design, the product, everything. And as I said also there in the video, that we really, you know, like for us it was about fan experience. So it's all about the fans. So we didn't talk about users, customers, whatever, but really fans that needed to be the level of the experience. And then we took the brand not just to games, but we took it everywhere. And that was also very much kind of by design. That's was because we had experience of making 51 games before, so we knew that it's super difficult to make a hit game. So once you have a hit, you go all in, you take it everywhere. And for us, everywhere was not taking just the game everywhere, but taking the brand everywhere. And then many people started telling us that, hey, what are you guys doing? You know, like, you're a games company, you're making toys, soft drinks, parts, like everything. Like, you should focus. And then I always tell people that we are very focused, but we're focused on providing Angry Birds branded experiences in all forms and shapes for our fans. So very focused, but the focus on the brand, not just games. So yeah, that's what we did.
Thank you.